Well, hello everybody, and I'm going to show you and then demonstrate to you my newly built designed swing arm jig to do fingerboard radiuses, straight radiuses and compound. But before I do that, I'll just quickly go over the functionality of this unit. I built it over the last couple nights with just parts I had lying around, and I'll start off with the base here, which is a 2x2 by 3/16 angle, and the upright is the same. And on the upright angle we have attached a extruded aluminum T-bar, I guess you call it that. And the whole system is actually utilizing the T-slot of the table with a bolt there. Keep it in place. I can slide it up and down if I need more room. And then off of that T-slot bar we have this horizontal arm which adjusts for height up and down, obviously, and then we have attached to the other end my pivot, and I'm using a riding lawnmower tie rod end, and these came out of my earlier jig for doing compound radiuses. Off of that we have our threaded rod 3/8, and this is just a joining coupler, I guess you call it. And what the nice thing is, I can back off this nut here and I can turn this around and it'll raise or lower this end of the jig, so I can do micro adjustment as I go along, which is handy when doing two-piece rosewood over maple necks, because with the way the taper of the neck goes, you'll find that the heel end will be thinner of the rosewood as it is going closer to the nut. So I can drop that down, get that thickness of the rosewood nicely parallel all the way down and look a lot nicer, more professional. Right now the neck's mounted to a piece of 2x1/4 inch by 3 foot aluminum, using the heel hole that I use on my templates and one of the tuner holes, I think number 4. I left it long so I can do base necks, because I have enough room from the nut to the end of my flat area to do base necks, which I need about 6 extra inches for that. And with the height of my uprights, I can do anything from a 14 obviously down to a 7 1/4. I can do any compound radius with that now. The only thing I would need to change would be the lengths of my connecting rods. Right now it's set up for 9 1/2 radius straight across parallel. If I'm doing a 9 1/2 to 7 1/4, I would simply put a shorter rod in here, drop down my arm so that my distance from the center of this pivot to the table gives me 7 1/4. And the only other feature that I added to help along is this little roller system. It's hitting the backstop of the belt sander. You'll find, or most of you guys when working with belt sanders know that just the direction of the belt is going to grab the wood and cause it to pull in one direction. With this little roller here, I've eliminated that issue, so there's no flex happening in the system at all, so I'm going to get a truer sanding and less issues there. That's about all I can think of. I need to clean it up a bit and paint it and give it a name or something like that. Canadian breed, Swingarm 2000, who knows. Anyways, really simple design. You can go onto YouTube, and if you do a search on swing arm jigs, you can find different designs, but you don't get a lot of guys talking about it in depth or even showing exactly what they're doing. When I did a search, I could hardly find any information, but I did find some stuff by Leo Fender's older company, L&G, is it, or L&F? Or no, G&L Fenders. They have a short little clip with a swing arm that they used to use back in the day. And but this is my design that I came up with based on my earlier tabletop unit I was using. Okay, I'm going to stop talking and I'm going to give you a demonstration. First I'll shut off my camera and get everything set up. Alright, I got my sander going here now, and a little bit loud. I had to reduce the voltage from the 220 down to 110 until I get some 220 run into this part of the shop. So they end up running a little louder, but I'm ready to do a swing here. So we'll just have a look. I'm just taking my time, I'm in no hurry. Doesn't look like we're getting much flex happening in that horizontal arm there. So we just do some final sweeps of it. I'm doing this one-handed here, so. Okay, I'm just going to shut the camera off and we'll pull the neck off and have a look at it. Okay, so I pulled the neck off of the jig. I used 100 grit on that sander, and it is really smooth. I'll probably hit it with water, raise up the grain, knock it back a bit, do that a couple times just to make sure that when I get to the finished process I don't have an issue. I didn't go to my final depth on this one. This was a test neck I had lying around. But it's a really nice radius of 9.5. Let's look at the other end. And I'm just extremely happy with this this little jig here. It in 2 minutes or less, you can have yourself a great looking fingerboard to work with. Nice and straight. There is a slight bow in this neck. Now the reason why is this doesn't have a truss rod in it yet. What I would normally do is I would put just a slight bit of pressure, back pressure on it, so that there would be a slight bit of relief in the center, so that if I have any issues with the frets causing a back bow, that'll take that issue right out of the equation, if that makes any sense. So it leaves a nice clean edge for rolling after I've installed my frets. And Sean, you're going to be the first one to get your neck done on this machine. Then it'll be Tom, and then it'll be Nick, and then whoever else decides to place an order. So you guys may have to line up. So I'm quite excited and quite stoked about it. It's a great little jig. Anyways, I hope you liked that video. If you have any questions or any thoughts about it or critiques, pass them along, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye for now.